We know how much the Rebbe was medayik in Lekutei Sichos, even in expressions. So I want to bring an example, and this is in the Sicha that was prepared for Parsha Kiseitze Tovshin Lamed Daled, which later is printed in Lekutei Sichos Chelik Yudaled, Parshas Kiseitze, page 86. So I want to mention something that the Rebbe changed. There, the beginning of the second Sif, was written that the union of Timcha Zecher HaMolek, to destroy the Zecher HaMolek, means that you should destroy it from your mind, from your machshava, from your thought, from your heart. And it said, Ve'eina movement, it's not understood. Tzivu Ishayach al Pula Maisis. A commandment is Ishayach on an act that you do. But how is it Shayach a Tzivui to destroy the Zecher of HaMolek? That means that you should sit and make it forgotten from your heart. L'chura, it's not in the ability of a person to be mavatal the machshava, the zikaron that he has from before. That's how it was written. So on these words where it said that tzivui shayach al pula maisis, that a tzivui shayach only on an act that you do, the Rebbe crossed out those words, and the Rebbe wrote mavhil. Mavhil means it's outrageous. How could you say such a thing? Harayesh gam b'negei alav. How do you make such a statement that a tzivui, a commandment, is shayach only on an act? There are commandments on a lav. A lav means what you shouldn't do, so it's a commandment and not to do. Now, what it was meant was that you can't give a tzivui on something that's in your heart. But the expression that was written, that a tzivui yishayich on a pula maisi is on an act, is not true, because we find that tzivui commandments on a lav. There are 365 commandments what not to do, so it's not a tzivui on a maisi. So the Rebbe changed it. The Rebbe just wrote like this: Ve'eina movement. How could there be a tzivui to destroy Amalek, which means mimachshavtei, from your machshave? And the Rebbe wrote ve'adarabe, on the contrary, when you remind yourself on the commandment ze atzmei maskiras Amalek, that itself reminds you of Amalek. That's the shaila. And in the second agod, the Rebbe even added many more words. He added the words before this part that he wrote, that adarabe, if you remind yourself the tzivui that reminds you of Amalek, the Rebbe added, V'hava l'leimer, the Pasuk should have said, Zeicher Amalek leyi alipcha. The Zeicher of Amalek should not be on your heart. A toser melipcha b'chol, take it away from your heart. Hainu shelayachshev al val Amalek b'rotzen. It means that you shouldn't think about Amalek willingly. Aval ein balabos, but you're not a balabos, you're not in control. And the word balabos is in Geshayim, in quotations. Al var machshavte, concerning your thought, shelayipel. The machshavte, and the word yipel is in quotation, that it shouldn't fall into your machshav, Zeicher Amalek. That's the question. How could you be at tzivui that it shouldn't fall into your mind? And then the Rebbe added, Val derech maimer hazal, like we know the maimer chazal, gimel averis ino the mitzvah b'chol yom. There are 3 averis no person could be saved from it every day, and one of them is hirhure aver, thoughts of aver, that you can't stop from those coming into your mind. And then the Rebbe wrote a ha'ora on this, that he said, the Maimer Azal Gimel Averis in Nitzalam B'chol Yom, a long ha'ora about this inyan itself, which is written as ha'ora because it's not direct and negate to the inyan. It's a side thing, but the Rebbe wrote that long ha'ora there.